Thank you so much for joining us on the news desk. Here are the top stories. President Hichilema graces Mongu Catholic Church Silver Jubilee. Kansanshi Mining to invest 14 million kwacha on developmental projects in Kalumbila. Over 1,000 people displaced in Masaiti district. Another news in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema says that government and the church should work together to foster peace and security in the country. President Hichilema says peace and security are important for promoting development of the country. Speaking on the occasion to mark the end of the Silver Jubilee commemoration for the Catholic Diocese of Mongu, which started in April, President Hichilema advised the church not to relent in continuously advising the government. President Hichilema also used the occasion to ask the Barose Royal Establishment to play an instrumental role in fostering unity in the country. Meanwhile, President Hichilema has paid tribute to the Catholic Church for complementing the government in sectors such as health and education. And Ngambela of the Barose Royal Establishment, Mukela Manyando, congratulated the Catholic Church Diocese of Mongu for attaining its Silver Jubilee. And Catholic Diocese of Mongu Bishop Evans Chinyemba says that the Silver Jubilee offered a moment of reflection and new commitment to congregants. Speaking at the same event, nominated Member of Parliament Likando Mufalali says President Hakainde Hichilema donated 10 animals to each of the 10 dioceses in the country, including the Mongu Diocese.
When there are military coups, we cannot even have a gathering like this. It's impossible to celebrate this Silver Jubilee. When we have military coups, we cannot even deliver health services, education. I want to ask the church to continue its advice to government. Say the things that the people are saying in the community. Say them to us. Say them to us who we are you. Say them to us and we are you. And together we'll work on them so that development is our flagship. So
the Baroti Royal Establishment wishes now to congratulate you, Evans Chinyemba, OMI, for steering this diocese up to the time it celebrates its Silver Jubilee. It is a big responsibility and actually a calling from above that you have been able to hold together the work of the Almighty God here in this part of Zambia.
You have a big place in the heart of the diocese. You have a space in my heart. Therefore, open your hearts to Jesus Christ. Let his words speak to you each day of your life so that you are able to participate in the mission of the church. Let the Eucharist, which you celebrate each day, encourage you to desire more in life.
The Catholic Church, through Caritas Zambia and Zambia Association of Sisters with support from Conrad Hilton Foundation, has launched the Livelihood and Child Protection Project targeting Mazabuka, Gwembe and Sinazongwe districts. Caritas Zambia representative Isaac Mundia stated that the 3-year project is aimed at rolling out empowerment interventions to contribute to food security, providing clean and safe water, and creating a safe environment for children. Here are the details.
Caritas Zambia, in partnership with the Zambia Association of Sisters, have launched the Livelihood and Child Protection Project in 3 districts of Mazabuka, Gwembe, and Sinazongwe, aimed at addressing poverty, vulnerability, and food insecurity among rural communities.
What has brought us here today is the Enhancing Livelihoods and Well-Being of Vulnerable Families in Monze and Mongo project, which will run from this 2022 up to 2025. The goal of this project, Madam Guest of Honor, is to enable Catholic sisters to extend opportunities for improved lives and self-reliance for disadvantaged children, youths and families in the targeted dioceses of Monze and Mongu by 2025. The project will focus on enhancing livelihoods and well-being of vulnerable families in Monze and Mongu, like I alluded to. Madam Guest of Honor, the project has some objectives, and these are as follows. We are looking at 800 target households have enough food and increased income through the use of agroecology farming practices.
The project would also create a safe environment for children through child protection-related activities, as well as increase climate change resilience among target communities.
We are also looking at children in the target communities of Monze and Mongu are safe and enjoy their rights through functioning child protection structures in communities and schools.
We also know that farming families, households in the Diocese of Monze deserve better, and as such, it is for this reason that we are launching this project today, to strengthen our collaboration mechanisms in responding to the aforementioned challenges which relate to climate change and reduce the adverse impact and effects of climate change on vulnerable families, especially among children.
His Excellency the President Hagaide's leadership places emphasis on the use of agroecology and traditional knowledge in farming as effective farming practices to respond and adapt to effective and of climate change, but also bearing in mind that protection, promotion, and fulfillment of children's rights is very cardinal, as demonstrated through the enactment of the Children's Act.
Frederick Macha for Zanis News in Monze District.
Minister of Information and Media Chushi Kasanda has commended the Independent Broadcasting Authority IBA board for coming up with guidelines to regulate the operations of the media industry in the country. Ms. Kasanda, who is also chief government spokesperson, says the guidelines will play a pivotal role in creating a level playing field for all broadcasting stations in the country. The minister, who was speaking last evening during the launch of the guidelines for enforcement and handling of compliance breaches, urged the authority to be firm when enforcing rules. She adds that the government remains committed to fostering transparency, accountability, and the growth of an independent and professional broadcasting industry that can contribute to the economic development of the country. And speaking earlier, IBA board chairperson Chikosola Chula said the document was subjected to a wide consultation before it was developed into law. And IBA Acting Director General Eustace Nkandu thanked the Minister of Information and Media for accepting to grace the launch, adding that it was a clear testimony of the importance she attaches to the development of the media sector in the country.
Allow me to start by commending the board and the management of the IBA for their efforts in developing these guidelines, whose intention is to create a level playing field for all broadcasting stations in Zambia when it comes to dealing with cases of non-compliance. This occasion is a major milestone in that the guidelines will provide a clear framework for handling compliance breaches to ensure fairness, transparency, and equal treatment for all broadcasting stations.
I wish to state from the onset that the document you will be launching today underwent extensive consultation with all broadcasting stations in the country. The IBA board ensured that no station was left out by engaging with stations in all the 10 provinces to obtain feedback and improve on the contents of the document. In this regard, I wish to express our gratitude to all the broadcasting stations for their recommendations and for helping us to refine.
Kansanshi Mining PLC has embarked on various developmental projects costing over 14 million kwacha in Kibanza ward of Kalumbila district in an effort to supplement government's effort in rural development. Speaking after a tour of the projects, Kansanshi Mine Civil Section Coordinator Samson Banda says the projects include the construction of a classroom block and staff houses at Kiwemba Primary School and Kiangozi Road, among others. Here are the details.
These are various developmental projects being implemented by Kansanshi Mining PLC at a cost of over 40 million kwacha in Kibanza ward of Kalumbila district. Among the projects is the grading of 12-kilometer stretch of Kiangozi Road, which was initially impassable. Kansanshi Mine gives details of the projects.
At Kipemba community, we have the relocation project, which involves the construction of 16 low-cost houses and 20 VIP latrines. For the school project, the scope of work included starting from the ground all the way up to completion.
The construction of a 1x2 classroom block and 3 staff houses, together with a borehole at Kipemba School, and the road running from Kipemba to Kiangozi School, a fulfillment of an agreement between the Mena Rural Establishment and FQM Kansanshi, which were entered into in about 2015-2016.
The development has pleased the local leadership.
The government of the Republic of Zambia under His Excellency is here to open economic activities. A farmer will produce food, a pupil will be at a nice school, then the road to access to the market, it is also done. So this is one way of enhancing and opening up a community.
The beneficiaries are grateful. Reporting for Zanis News in Kalumbila district, Jennifer Mtoshi.
Residents of Mafinga district in Muchinga province say the move taken by government to rehabilitate the Isoka Muyombe road will benefit the people in the area. And Mafinga Member of Parliament Robert Chavinga has expressed happiness with the progress made so far and has assured residents that there will be more development once rehabilitation works are completed. Take a look.
Slowly is taking shape as it has been described as a death trap by residents here. The Isoka Muyombe Road, which has been in a deplorable state, will now be a thing of the past as government recently released a sum of 10 million kwacha to rehabilitate the road. And Area Member of Parliament Robert Chavinga explains the progress made so far.
Thank His Excellency the President and the Minister of Finance for having a listening here as Member of Parliament, which have been engaging and have been asking RDA and the Minister of Infrastructure to help us. So they had planned for a 10 million kwacha for this road to just do from down where we're coming from. It is kilometer 70 up to kilometer 31, because this is the stretch which is very, very bad and which has been affecting our people. But this is just a remedy. But above all, the people of Mafinga wants this road done, and because we are yearning for development.
Mr. Chavinga states that once these temporary works are done, residents will see more development.
We should be able to do a lot of things in terms of infrastructure development. The banks has to come to Mafinga. The filling stations has to come to Mafinga. We have a lot of departments in education. It's that the road infrastructure has to be done correctly.
Meanwhile, road users are grateful, saying many lives have been lost due to the bad state of the road.
I want to thank government for the works taking place on this road. We used to move for about 4 hours from Isoka to Mafinga, but now we just take about 2 hours. Way back, this road was a death trap, as many lives have been lost on this road. Government should also consider putting a tarmac.
The Human Rights Commission are also happy to see how the road is taking shape.
Commission, I think we are very happy, and this is what we need to be happening everywhere. That development should be taken to all parts of Zambia. The road network should be worked on. The number of cases that we've been receiving from Mafinga district, but we couldn't easily come here because of the road network.
Road infrastructure is indeed an important aspect if development is to be attained in any area. Pamela Inamba reporting for Zanis in Mafinga district, Muchinga province.
We now bring you health news, where the Zambia Medicines and Medical Supplies Agency Mansa Hub Regional Manager Enoch Mwale says Luapula Province has enough stocks of essential medicines. Mr. Mwale told the Ministry of Information and Media Director spokesperson Tabo Kawana that currently the province is at 88% stock. More in the following report.
The availability of medicines in health centers is key in ensuring a health nation. Government is using the Zambia Medicines and Medical Supplies to ensure that every health center is stocked with medicines.
All the ARVs are 100% available, and we probably say no facilities complaining of shortages of those essentials, including Coartem. We received the 2 trucks. 2 days ago, we have a huge consignment of Coartem. So as of today, we don't expect a single facility to complain that they don't have this essential.
Previously, we noted that I think we had a lapse in the reporting system, whereby they would report and then would find that we are running short of some drugs. So together with the ZAMSA Hub and our provincial pharmacist, I think we've worked out a system whereby now the reporting is straight now, such that drug stockouts, I think we are no longer tolerating that.
Luapula Province Permanent Secretary Mike Mumba has led the Minister of Information and Media Director spokesperson Tabo Kawana, who is in the province to check on the ZAMSA Medical Hub in Mansa.
So we don't expect, as a provincial admin, we don't expect, even the provincial health director doesn't expect to find the facility at any particular time in any district out of the 12 districts that we have in Luapula to have stockouts, because the drugs are available.
And Minister of Information and Media Director spokesperson Tabo Kawana has attributed the smooth flow of medicines to coordinated system of government.
This is a hub, but this facility has made sure that all the other places in the district, as far-flung as Chimubi Island, all the facilities have got what you are seeing here today. So this is what we meant when we say that as a new dawn administration, ours is to do things correctly.
Chomba reporting for Zanis News in Mansa district.
Still in health news, the Zambia Flying Doctor Service team conducting health outreach programs in Senanga district in Western Province has noticed an increase in hypertension cases and other communicable diseases which are affecting people in the area. Zambia Flying Doctor Service team leader Richard Kaki has attributed the increase in hypertension cases to lifestyle, as most of the people have abandoned their traditional food. Tovin Ngombe found in this report.
While it is easy for people living in town to access medication, most people in hard-to-reach areas have no such luxury, and many of them opt to keep their ailments and suffer without having any hope of accessing quality health care. However, the Zambia Flying Doctor Service is filling this gap, and its medical team is in Senanga district in Western Province to help people who have no opportunity of accessing quality health care closer to their homes in hard-to-reach areas. At Ritambia, multitudes of patients flocked to the clinic to access the services. Zambia Flying Doctor Service team, led by Dr. Richard Kaki, were able to attend to 443 patients against the target of 230 per day.
We had more cardiovascular patient cases, hypertension, diabetes mellitus, and other non-communicable diseases like osteoarthritis. On the obstetric side, we had a number of cases also which ranged from fibroids, issues of subfertility, as well as menstrual problems.
The patients are happy with the services received.
Very happy that the flying doctors have come
at our doorstep, because we have a lot of problems that we are facing. Others have high problem, others have tooth decay, and so many other problems. But now, since today they are here, we are very happy. And I'm one of them who has received the classes.
Very much happy to have these flying doctors here, because some of us, we are finding it very difficult to travel to the general clinic to have these medical facilities.
Senanga District Administrative Officer has thanked the Zambia Flying Doctor Service for offering health services in hard-to-reach areas.
The places are vast. I think this is all ascribed to delayed development, such that all the places that you go, you need a foil. There are no roads, there are just tracks where people are using ox carts and the other mode of transport. So they are hard to reach areas. No wonder people just stay with their ailment forever, because they can't even move that distance, they cannot find the services. But with your coming, we had very high hopes that at least a doctor will touch one of them.
The medical team is offering general medical services, dental services, eye services, and conducting specialized services to the people of Senanga. Tovini Ngombe, Zanis, Senanga District.
Now, one of the stories making headlines in our news: over 1,000 people have been displaced from their homes in Chieftainess Malembeka's area in Luansobe ward of Masaiti district. It is alleged that the people had settled on a 700 hectares piece of land illegally. More in this report.
These are some of the people of Biwa village in Luansobe ward. They have lived in this area for over 20 years, but unfortunately in the early hours of yesterday morning, the state police evicted them from their homes, alleging they had settled in this land illegally. The residents are calling on government to intervene in their matter.
And kali mwati mone hapa le ama farms almost 45 ninshi mafamu muri amunine manganda dangwali 5, so abantu abali ama households angachira 200 neli ati my taking ile mbindi ya kupenda mo kuona unesanga noko ati kuya mafamu akutubwindi akwete kabiri ne tupepa na tutwe na kwa ikoti to mafamu permit sambi ma village registers.
Masaiti District Commissioner and her Mpongwe counterpart visited the affected families.
Shapa kuti ichi chintu cha kufumbukirwa mulisho kufumbukirwa muchisungu ati emergency itintu ifisa lokosokwa kubulo kuchetekela tomfan emwana pano ifintu ifisa mukufumbukirwa na fwebo kufitekanisha kola bachiso obushiko kali bafunye pefilia bafumyana tatuwemepo pano ningala biroko ati nanga tatuwemepo kentekele mutima wando wa mutima nteke ni batweboko ati muingishe fite tien tukonke fienkefyo kwa tuingishe fite mailo ba lawyer bakesi aba kupima kanina ko kuli ashira Milan.
It is only hope that the matter surrounding this land, which has dragged for too long, can be settled once and for all. Nkwachichanda, Zanis, Masaiti District, Copperbelt Province.
In other news, World Vision and government have provided improved water supply to more than 3,700 people in Siabaswi and Katongo villages of Chief Mwemba's chiefdom in Sinazongwe district. The mechanized water supply, costing over 1 million kwacha, is aimed at addressing the water challenges that the people have been facing.
It is a sad reality for the people of Siabaswi and Katongo villages in Chief Mwemba's chiefdom in Sinazongwe district. Since time immemorial, sharing water with animals from this perennial stream has been the order of the day.
Tujisima penzi mapati maningi chijatikizya manzi. Imanzi twajana maningi muzikala enzi tuteko okuno mumulonga. Aboneka tulajana mumwi abona ngulube yabola kuzwa mukati ka munzi yabola yasamba mukati twakupa kupamana twateka twanywa. So ngabunji kwazindi dairi atireki kutheni kuchisamwida makana amanzi ngotunywa.
But today a sigh of relief for the two villages is finally here as hundreds of excited people have come to witness the commissioning of 4,000-liter tank that will now supply water to this community.
We have two villages that are benefiting. All the villages, they have a population of over 3,700 people and over 400 households that are benefiting directly from this water. And we have provided piped water because our mandate is to reach the universal coverage for water. Remember what alone, we have reached about 85% in terms of access to water.
To sustain the mechanized water system, local people have been trained.
We have also built capacity in the local members who have been trained in the management and also the fee collection system, as well as to ensure that this system is insured yearly. So as we are talking, the system has a premium insurance, and we are hopeful that should they face any challenges, the insurance will be able to come in.
The community is grateful to both World Vision and government for the collaboration.
Twalumba ba World Vision batugwasya nkambo ino mapenza akujiswa mbuli mwida tulaleka. Manzi mbata tubolele tulabaji ndija kuti oloka garden motugonsiya kulima akupona maumi mabotu.
Numbumwa tuyetera jipampo obuleza muleleke nche myonjira kuju muni mugwasya ndiswe manzi.
Costa Kimdenda, Zanis, in Sinazongwe district, Southern Province.
And in a related development, Lusaka Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Alex Mapushi says government is happy with the improvement of water supply to townships in Lusaka. Mr. Mapushi was speaking during a familiarization tour of the Ayolanda Waterworks in Kafue, whose rehabilitation and new installation works were funded by government to a tune of 150 million United States dollars.
This is the new pumping equipment recently installed on the Kafue River at the Ayolanda Waterworks in Kafue district to assist the old pumps that, with time and growing developmental activities in Lusaka Province, could not meet the demand of water. Lusaka Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Alex Mapushi undertook a familiarization tour of the facility and others.
Our aim as government is to have the entire province, Lusaka Province, on water supplied by Lusaka Water and Sewerage Company. I can assure the people of Lusaka Province that government, your government, led by His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, that we are working tirelessly to ensure that we do not have water problems at all.
The development has also enhanced the operations of the Lusaka Water and Sewerage Company.
Lusaka water supply was mainly rationed. First thing in the morning, 2 hours during lunch hour, and maybe 3 hours in the evening. But currently we're able to run continuously from 05 to around 19-20 hours per day.
Mr. Mapushi projects long-term plans for Kafue residents that rely on the Kaseba intake for their water.
The government is looking into seeing how Kafue can tap into Yolanda.
Since the system is old, I know once they increase the pressure a bit, you see bursts.
Meanwhile, Lusaka Water and Sewerage Sanitation Manager Regan Mulumba bemoaned the challenges that are threatening the effectiveness of the Chawama sewer treatment plant in Kafue.
We have been experiencing a bit of encroachment on some of our infrastructure. People tend to want to either build on them or on top of sewer lines.
Lou Majila reporting for Zanis in Kafue.
Chipata City Mayor George Mwanza has commissioned a new dump site which was put up at a cost of 30,000 kwacha to mitigate poor sanitation in the district. Davison Sakala gives us more in this report.
Other than being an eyesore, this contentious dump site posed a much greater risk of being a health hazard to the residents of Chipata District in Eastern Province in one too many ways. Due to this, Chipata City Mayor George Mwanza has commissioned a new dump site.
Chikulene chatawerera pano lero nchakuti tisegure aya malo yatukamba kuti pa chizungu dump site ndiye chatawerera lero. Lomba iyi nkhani ya dump site muno mchipata yankhala vuto kosachepekera zaka 15 years kuvuli uko.
Water sanitation, business and other entrepreneurial activities were negatively affected by the junk pile.
We are grateful as Eastern Water to see the development that has taken place in our city. As you are all aware, the entire city of Chipata draws the water that it uses for consumption and other things from our main source, which is the Lutembe River. And the old dam site was in very close proximity to the stream where we draw our water, which posed a great danger to the water that we supply to the community, and also put a lot of burden on the company to treat the water, make it safe for our community in the great city of Chipata.
I would just like to say thank you so much for opening the new dump site. As a part of CC, our occupants, they were highly affected. They had to move out of the industrial yard to find alternative places where they could operate for. Since
the new dump site comes in as a breath of fresh air for the residents of Chipata District.
Vigaru vikapuntiwa wabwera vita pamene paja mvula ikabwera vikokoloka vyenda mu Lutembwe ise tikumwa manzi so pa ntchito amene atigwirira George Mwanza meya wathu tikuti ziko mwameya mwagwira ntchito kusamalira moyo wathu.
Before now, the old Kagunda dump site was decommissioned by the Zambia Environmental Management Agency ZEMA in 2018 but was still in use. Davison Sakala reporting for Zanis in Chipata District.
The news continues. Chief Mulilo of Chama District has appealed to government to hasten the process of awarding contracts to contractors building chiefs' palaces. Speaking when Area Member of Parliament Yotam Tachala paid a courtesy call on him at his palace, Chief Mulilo bemoaned the current state of some palaces. More in this report by Freddie Piri.
Traditional leaders play a pivotal role on the national development of every country. That is why Zambian government embarked on construction of chiefs' palaces to better their well-being. However, not all chiefs have received this upgrade of their palaces. Chief Mulilo of Chama has no suitable shelter.
Any support, we can do wonders, but like this, it's very difficult. We need schools here. At the moment, we have only 6 primary schools, but we need even a secondary school as well as others. Mulilo is very rich when in producing men who are educated.
The chief bemoaned government's delay in building his palace despite being on the throne for 18 years. He highlighted these challenges when Area Member of Parliament Yotam Tachalo paid a courtesy call during the CDF monitoring tour of his constituency.
Kwacha was deducted for all the constituencies, and as we hoped that we are going to construct chiefs' palaces ourselves by advertising through the council so that a contractor is chosen. But now the central government has decided to take over the entire construction of chiefs' palaces despite getting money from CDF. Up to this time, this is August, and no tender has been floated.
And on transport challenges of chiefs, the MP says,
now I want to make another NS appeal. I've written a letter to government. Let them consider Chief Mulilo. This chiefdom.
Mulilo Chiefdom is one of the chiefdoms in Zambia that is endowed with numerous natural resources and fertile soils. Fred Piri, Zanis News, reporting from Chama.
And lastly, in our news, Minister of Labour and Social Security Brenda Tambatamba says government will continue strengthening existing mechanisms for social dialogue, such as the Tripartite Consultative Labour Council. Ms. Tambatamba notes that this is an effort to promote cordial relations between trade unions and employers in the country. She said this in a speech read on her behalf by Ministry of Labor and Social Security Director of the Department of National Productivity Development, Cyprian Mayamba, during the official opening of the first quadrennial conference for Chalimbana University Lecturers Union, Chaulu in Chongwe. She added that government acknowledges the role played by trade unions in promoting good working conditions, industrial harmony and unity. And Zambia Congress of Trade Unions Deputy General Secretary Catherine Choba commended lecturers at Chalimbana University for forming a union despite the interim committee facing a number of challenges over the years. Meanwhile, re-elected Chaulu President Edgar Zulu pledged to address the plight of lecturers at the institution.
My ministry greatly appreciates the role of trade union organizations in promoting good working conditions, industrial harmony, and unity. I therefore wish to encourage the trade unions and the employer to continue working in a cordial work environment. On its part, the new Dawn government will continue to strengthen existing mechanisms for social dialogue, such as the tripartite consultative labor council, and we remain committed as government to the tripartite mechanism provided for in the Industrial and Labor Relations Act, Chapter 269 of the laws of Zambia.
Zambia Congress of Trade Union is really happy today to see that the lecturers at Chalimbana University have formed a trade union. We are really glad. We appreciate the many challenges that the interim committee that have gone through with what our honorable has also told us the history. We appreciate what you have suffered to make sure that you have finally come to the elections. Most employers, only that trade union organizations are troublemakers who are established to bring down and oppose the work of management in terms of organizing. That is not the way it's supposed to be.
We want to thank everyone that came through for the quadrennial conference, and we also want to take this opportunity to pledge our continued working. We intend to do things differently now that we have been given the mandate. We will work with the council, we will work with management to improve the conditions of the workers. We also want to look at some of the challenges that our staff have been facing.
On that note, we come to the end of the news, but before we go, here's a reminder of the top stories. President Hichilema graces Mongu Catholic Church Silver Jubilee. Kansanshi Mining to invest 14 million kwacha on developmental projects in Kalumbila. Over 1,000 people displaced in Masaiti district. On behalf of everyone involved in this production, my name is Amos Zulu. Bye-bye.